Hello. Today's video, we are going to discuss Freemasonry and its origins and what it was truly meant to do. And then I'm going to take you on a journey through this modern three-piece artwork and what it unlocks and what it shows us is just it shows the Father's hand. It's mind-blowing. We weren't able to do a lot this weekend because of weather. And so I've been working on this, and he's just put it on me to show you. And so I wanted to go ahead and do that. Now, of course, we believe that the Ark of the Covenant was found a long time ago, and that it ultimately was smuggled in and made its way into England. Only two people ever knew about its existence at one time until it was passed to Francis Bacon. And when it got into Francis Bacon's hands, he decided, instead of passing it on to another man, he decided to hide it. And he hid a map to its location. And that is what Freemasonry is built on. Freemasonry gives you the keys to be able to unlock this map, to find this secret location that Freemasonry is built on. And the whole object, of course, is to find the Ark of the Covenant. Instead of it being passed on to another man, it will be passed on to the world. It was given, everybody was given an opportunity, no respect to persons. And if you could fulfill this, then you would be fulfilling prophecy. And this is what Bacon has done. He believes by doing this, he is actually fulfilling prophecy. And so there are two forms of Freemasonry. There's what's called speculative Freemasonry, and then there's operative Freemasonry. Now, Bacon and anyone who helped him at this location, the secret location that Freemasonry is built on, you would have been an operative Freemason. Anybody outside of that, you are a speculative Freemason. And speculative is exactly that. It's speculative. You're like in a trial period. You're not actually a Freemason. And that's why it's corrupted today. There's no doubt speculative Freemasonry is corrupted and polluted. And they're stuck there. You have to rise to the degrees and transfer over into the operative Freemason. That's when you're really getting somewhere. That's when you've had a victory. As long as you're stuck in speculative Freemasonry, you're never going to get anywhere. The whole purpose of it was to reform a man and to teach him how to dedicate his life to serving the Father and to serving his fellow brother. But from there, you had to be enlightened to cross over, to understand that it's not just spiritual. These are not just spiritual meanings and symbols for your inner self. It's very much physical. It was a physical location. We have to understand what their true purpose was. And there's books on this. And so with that said, let's go from the speculative to the operative. Because if you come down to the bottom of this page, you see the olive branch, and that represents victory. And you see the keystone with the smiley face next to it, or above it. But then next to it, you have that kind of like a weird looking face. When you found that, if you got to that point, you are now an operative Freemason. If you have found that location, it's under the water. You can see it hid. You can see the water covering everything there at the bottom. Everything's covered. It's all hidden. And if you have found that spot, you are now an operative Freemason, and a huge victory you have gotten. You see the three J's, one on the left side, one on the right side, and one in the middle. Of course, J represents the number 1 also, and you have the MM on each side and on the corner. That's Master Mason. That's the whole purpose of this. You're going to start rising through the degrees of an operative Mason at a real location. That keystone is a window to a heavenly door. See, it's in the clouds. But your hope, your steadfastness is kind of shaken. That's why you got the sad face there. Because what you thought you were going to find in that keystone, you didn't find. And then you have the all-seeing eye, the Father, with the heartbeat. He is testing you. You are being tested now by the Father. If you are at this location, which is this location. That is the keystone, the window to a heavenly door. It's a real place. It was designed off a real location, hidden, and they are just stuck in the speculative aspect. And it's been corrupted. Manly P. Hall, many others, and it's all polluted. But they're missing the bigger picture and what was done. And so you can see the shape of the keystone right there. That's a victory if you have found that. But when you went in, when you dug it out, you realize your steadfastness, your hope, you were like, something's amiss. And then you see it, the heartbeat with the arrow above at the bones. That's what we found in there. We found human bones. These human bones. It was only the legs. So half of a human being was missing. But you're being tested by the Father. That's what that's telling you. You're going to be tested with these bones. Now, when we went in, we found human remains laying on the stone. We were very excited. But as we put the man together, we had a question. Of course, half of him was missing. And he left us 3 clues. You see the number 3 there. One was the shovel. It was found in the very back at the bottom. Has concrete stuck on it. That was in the very back, at the very bottom, because it was left there as a clue. You also had the concrete. It's in the bottom of the keystone. The letter G, because technically if you find human remains inside of that, it is a tomb. It can also be referred to as a coffin. And you have the G right there on the entrance. Of course, you have the G right here. And so we have everything that this thing is saying that you're going to need. That's the clues that were left. And if you've made it this far, you're being tested. There's the heartbeat. You're being tested on whether no, you are not worthy to continue, or yes, you are worthy to continue. You're either here because of the Father, or you're here because of the world. And there's something hidden that needs to be shown to you. And it ends up being a map, or what's described here as a maze. And a maze has a start point and an end point with obstacles in between, which is exactly what our map is. There's a start point and there's an end point, and he left a bunch of obstacles in between. That was revealed to us, and we started working it, which then we ultimately came to the realization, when you look really close at this, it's blocked off. You can't finish the maze. You got the teardrop, the eye crying. It's hidden. You're realizing it's hidden. The way to read this, the way to answer this maze is hidden. I need to find the real way to read it. The real way to read it needs to be illuminated to me. That's what that is telling you. It's absolutely incredible. What map, what maze or map is he talking about? It's this one right here. We've been following it. And so if you're here and you've unlocked all this and you're working this out, you have found that keystone. You have found the human bones, the shovel, the concrete, the wood, the G. Then you are on that test. And if you have found the map, which is this one right here, of this location that he has led you to, of the keystone, if you have found that, then you have been found to be here of the Father. And so now we go on to page 2. This is the apprentice. This is the entered apprentice level of a Freemason, of an operative Freemason. This is page 2. Okay? We're coming to the understanding that the map needs to be illuminated. How did we come to that understanding? Because we followed the dots. Remember the dots in the map. What dot? That dot. And it's in the folio many times. It's in the Bible many times. You're following dots in the map. 7 of them. There were 7 obstacles put in the map. And when you get to the end, you're happy because it's the map is actually producing now. And you find a coffin. Our coffin looked just like that. Rounded on the end, about 12 feet long, and it has the arrow running through it, meaning you're going to search inside that coffin. But what you ultimately found was a closed door. It produced nothing for us other than the stone coffin, which was amazing. Man done, no doubt. Your heart's being tested. At this point, your heart is being tested. You have to come to the understanding that the map needs to be illuminated. The way in which to read it needs to be illuminated to you. How does it get illuminated to us? That's what this is. And so it's a pitcher of water. And of course, you use a pitcher of water to get a drink of water. So if you're at this point and you're very thirsty, you have nowhere else to go. You've worked the map, and now you're coming to the understanding that the way in which you're reading it is not producing your answer. You need to figure out how to read it. You need a drink of water. And he gives you just a little drop. And what is that little drop? He shows you the male and the female symbol. And it just so happens out here at this location, you have a carving of a human being. But you can't tell if that's male or female. And that's exactly what he's hoping you're going to understand by the little face. It's like, I hope you get it, but it's just a small clue to give you that water to understand. If you understand this and you found this, then you understand this, and that you had to flip it in order to read it right. Now your map is illuminated, and you have the person there holding the serpent, the knight clutching the serpent, or the human clutching the serpent, and the human clutching the serpent. It's absolutely incredible. If you have that clue, this is in Freemasonry, the cluster of grapes. It represents when they went into Canaan and brought back the fruit after spying the land out. And that the fruit symbolized that it was a good land, and that it was a fruitful land, and that it was a land that the Father had given to them, that had promised them. And you got the heartbeat. You've just been tested. You have flipped the map, and now you're going to go to the land. It's been illuminated to you. Now you know how to really read the map. So you're really moving along. You've also entered into what's referred to as Fellowcraft. You're no longer in the entered apprentice level of operative masonry. You have now entered into the Fellowcraft degrees of operative masonry. And we have flipped that map, and now it's going to lead us to the land that the Father promised, or Bacon promised. Freemasonry, the Ark of the Covenant, what this is all designed for. And so now we come back to the map, which is no longer illuminated because we understand how to read it now. And you got the eyeball there, which is telling you to look for a hand. Which is that hand? That hand right there, which represents, of course, the hand in your new map to locate where you are at that location. It's at a specific point in the earth, and it is going to yield your increase or your wages or your reward. How is it going to do that? Because it points to the Father. And he has the sign of, is the planet Jupiter. The planet Jupiter is a symbol for the father. It's the king planet. But notice he has the word or next to it. So we're looking for a symbol that represents the father, but it's not Jupiter. It's got to be. There's only one symbol. That's the omega. Of course, upside down because it's the chamber of reflection. Is this not incredible? With a modern day image. We're walking it step by step. It's like step-by-step directions. Because I've already fulfilled all this work. I've already put all the work in and I've already answered all this. You see, now you're deep in the Fellowcraft, the F and the C. You're deep in the Fellowcraft of operative Freemasonry. And if you unlock this and you know what he's talking about, you've got the hand at a specific location and you have found this mark, the omega, your cup is just about full. You have just about filled your cup. And you're about to answer this. But he leaves a symbol here. And he's got a smiley face, but then he's got these three weird looking faces. See that? That's because behind the omega was this wall. And look at the shape of the top stone. Of the stone that's at the very top. Now look at that symbol again. It's absolutely incredible. I'm blown away. I'm blown away at the preciseness of what we're looking at here. And then, of course, when we took that wall down, we didn't find an entrance to nothing. You're being tested. The Father is testing you. You need to go back into the book where, of course, your map is located. So now we are on the third image, third and last image. And you are understanding when you tore that wall down that he wasn't there and you need further illumination from your map. That further illumination is going to come from a measuring line. That's what that symbol is. But notice you have many lines coming off of it. So you have to measure the lines in your map. It's hidden. Measure it. And you go up and around the corner to illuminate it. And you have been tested. Your heart has been tested. Up and around, just like we had to do. We were here. We tore the wall down. We're here. We were trying to just go here. We had to go up over the stone and around to get to this spot right here, which is going to lead us into where the light is. And that's what we had to do. And now you're transferring into Master Mason. You went from entered apprentice into Fellowcraft into Master Mason. That's what this fraternity was all about, is what we're doing right here. If you've done this and you've measured the lines to your map, the location out there that you've been following, and if you're measuring the lines to your map, you will know exactly what to do and exactly how to get in. Notice the map's not illuminated anymore because now you understand how to read it. And he has the hammer for chiseling, and you got the water next to it because it's underground. We're digging it now. The whole front of that stone is just like that, the shape of it. It's been chiseled 90-degree corners. It's amazing. I did a video and kind of showed it in my last video. He has the measuring stick, 12, 24, 36, 3 feet. That stone is 2 feet thick. We need to go about a foot under it. It's covered. You're going to find concrete. You're going to find concrete. And here is your victory. It's our victor. We're going to find his bones. We're going to find the remains. And we're going to find the entrance into his temple. He leaves 2 stones. One is got a 90-degree corner, and then it's kind of misshapen. And then another one is a perfect rectangle. What he's telling you, he's got a pencil right here. One is drawn perfect, just like that. Just like that. But that's actually a stone in which most of it is kind of rough, like this. Except for the very front. It's been cut into 90-degree corners, like we have found. right here. It's absolutely incredible. And the chamber of reflection, that's exactly what we're looking at. If you were to flip it upside down, you're going to go under the awning of the stone, and there's going to be a piece that you have to remove, and that's going to give you your reward, your victory. The same victory you got when you found the first set of bones, his legs. Here you will find the other half of Bacon, making you a master mason, finding the wonderful master, Sir Francis Bacon, the one who designed Freemasonry itself. This is its true purpose. Everybody has been stuck in speculative Freemasonry, not looking for the actual physical, just like with religion. Everybody is stuck in the spiritual aspect of religion. But it's far more physical than that. You got to take those scriptures off the page and manifest them, just like Yahushua did, just like all the prophets were doing. They were sowing. We have to be reaping. The apostles were doing it. And you are rising to the levels to Master Mason, to ultimately unlock your victory, the Ark of the Covenant. This is a modern drawing. And look at what we just did with it. It's so detailed. Every step, we went through every step and we can understand it. I've done videos on them. Every single step. I just showed the images. This whole thing is telling a story. But if you only know the speculative aspect, then how could you ever answer it? You need the operative side. And that's what we are doing for the first time in 400 years. I believe very soon we are going to get our answer. We will have found the other half of Francis Bacon. We have the answer. We understand this completely. We have done all this. We are doing this now. And we're fixing to be doing this. So we've been through all of these other steps. All these steps we've been through. All these steps we've been through, most of them. And these steps we've been through. We already have his legs. We need the other half. And that's what we're about to get. And so I just wanted to show you guys that there is a huge difference between what you see today with speculative Freemasonry and what an operative Freemason is, what the true purpose and design of Freemasonry was for. And it was very much to find your creator in a very physical way, at a physical location, which fulfills Scripture. So I love you guys. I will be making a video very soon. We are going to be going back out there very soon and continuing the dig. We're making great progress, and it won't be long before we're at our depth, and we're all going to know. And so I have nowhere else to go from here. I do believe this is our answer. There's just nowhere else to go, and everything fits. I believe that we have done it, and now it's just going out there and putting in the work to prove it so. But this modern day artwork and the way I was able to just go right through all of it, and it tells our story, I just find that it's divine to me. It's incredible. So I love you guys. Till the next one. See you.